Welcome to another lesson in ChronoCosmonomy. Today, we're going to be focusing on some illustrations and diagrams. At least one or two pages of that. And the subject in this lesson is going to be the discoveries about the ANALEMMA. Excuse me. I was just out at the bird feeder with all the bird seed. Sometimes it's kind of dusty. So these are the original notes of yours truly, Peter Tasciotti. And these are very important in the ChronoCosmonomy research project because something was stumbled onto here. If you've heard about the astronomical phenomenon of the ANALEMMA, then you know it really hasn't been investigated. It hasn't been questioned. And it's a very fundamental geocentric factor. It's geocentric, and it's all about the sun, although it's not heliocentric. It tells you something about geocentrically how the motions of our Earth, the sphere that we're on, our home planet, it tells you how that is changing and going through its cycle throughout the solar year. So it is graphed out, and it's not a abstract mathematical graph. It's a reality graph, a graph of reality, meaning that you don't need math to calculate it on paper. What happens is the visual that you get on paper has to do with what's being observed in the sky over the course of a year. So if you do it for 6 or 7 months or more, you can definitely get the idea of it. If you do a full year and more, or you do 2 years in a row, you get more of an idea. Now, the thing is, not too many people have done it on the photographic observation that would have to happen. And if you look at what's available on the World Wide Web to the general public, you don't find a lot of examples of it, which would be evidence. You see a lot of explanations of it. So, I haven't done it. I haven't had the equipment, I haven't had the location to do it, because I don't stay in one place. I travel a lot. So I would need to coordinate with at least one or more people to do the experiment. But I wish that I would. It's something in the future that does need to be done for ChronoCosmonomy as part of our project. But that's okay. We borrow from the work and the empirical data, which is going to be our knowledge to work with. So this is what I found out. Here's where it gets interesting and exciting. The ANALEMMA, it's a solar ANALEMMA, geocentric solar ANALEMMA. And I'm looking through the camera right now. I have one hand holding the camera and the other hand writing. So again, I probably need more equipment, and I need a crew. That would be great. Thank you very much. I'm going to work up to that with expanding this project. But here we have the word that I've written, solar ANALEMMA is how it's pronounced. Most people don't get this vowel and this vowel the right way, but it's ANALEMMA. Okay, by now you know it looks like that. So what I've done is I've graphed it out toward the color coding of whether the Earth and or the Sun seem to be increasing or decreasing in relation to each other. Now, when it moves in that direction or this direction, away from the vertical axis, you know that it will be increasing or decreasing. So as I've considered it, when we go toward this way in relation to this axis, and going this way means going to this far side, which would be the left side. This is the ANALEMMA from the Northern Hemisphere. When you're going to viewing on the left side of it, which would basically be the eastern side, okay. And if during the ANALEMMA you're heading that way, then it is a decrease in speed. If you're heading this way to the right side, which is west, you're increasing the speed. That's east, that's west. This is the north, this is the south. So the reason why, and you have an axis this way, horizontally. So when there's a change horizontally, up or down, top or bottom of the field, toward the top, going toward the top means going toward the north. Going toward the bottom means going toward the south. North, east, south, west. Now, in the southern hemisphere, it would be viewed like this. It would be reversed. If you're looking to your horizon, you look in the sky, and when the motion is toward this way, which would be following this, it's going to the north in your view, and it's a smaller loop. It's not up, it's down. Because the shape of the ANALEMMA is the same no matter where you view it on the Earth, if you follow me. So it doesn't matter where you view it from, it's going to have the same shape. The only thing that's going to change about your changing location is the angle that it will be positioned in the sky. Okay? The shape itself doesn't change. But here is the big issue that I have found with it. The big issue is this shape, which they say is for Mars and other planets. Because there is a whole theory of the different ANALEMMAs from Mars-centric or Venus-centric and all the planets. And they're not said to be like this. There is a claim, if they have a rover and a probe on the surface of Mars that they have done this photography partially. I haven't seen a full one because it would take more than 2 years to complete it in the Mars cycle, and it comes out like this. It doesn't have this kind of a shape where it crosses over, and it has 2 increases and 2 decreases intermittently. And here on Mars, there's only 1 increase and 1 decrease. Now, having said that, that is the big problem that ChronoCosmonomy has discovered. It is not explained away by the normal and the typical and the very overused response or reasoning, the overused reasoning that it has something to do with the elliptical theory, ellipses. That can't explain it. Because if the ellipse is one of the main factors, the main phenomenon in creating the ANALEMMA that can be observed from the Earth geocentrically, then it doesn't explain why it has 2 increases and 2 decreases. Because in the ellipse, there's only 1 increase and 1 decrease. So what are the other factors, and why would that change the way that we observe the ANALEMMA, the geometric shape of it, the path that the sun takes in the Earth's sky? It makes no sense whatsoever when you really think it through. But it makes sense if you don't question it and you just say, oh, it has to do with the elliptical theory. And by the way, I emphasize that it's a theory.